Hey, it's Joel and Kathy with your GodSaveMyMarriage.com marriage power up. I
Yes,
hope you've
indeed.
had a really great day. It's been a little cooler here in Palm Coast, Florida. As you see, we got our sweatshirts on. I was telling one of our Airbnb guests earlier today, I said, man, I like it in Florida when it gets a little cooler. I get to wear my sweatshirts. And he goes, Kathy, you just said it. You're in Florida. And he started to laugh. Sweatshirts, Florida, don't really go. But it does fit.
Of course, we have our beautiful black drop here because of Christmas time.
That's right.
Yes, indeed. And if you're right behind Kathy, you can't see it. So it's a beautiful fireplace back there and all that good stuff. So, oh,
Yeah.
there you go. All right, God's good. So today we're going to talk about kind of like what we always talk about: husband initiate, wife respond. But today we'll talk a little bit extra about the wives.
So we're going to talk about help the ladies out. We always get that comment, can you talk more to the wives?
You guys talk too much to the husbands. You got to talk. What about the wife? What is she supposed to do?
Okay, so ladies, we're going to talk with you. So ladies, don't forget to respond. Okay, now back to you guys.
Yes. Okay, husbands. Now, hey, husbands do need to initiate. Wives do need to respond. So it's really simple. If we could take away all the dysfunction,
It's really simple.
yes,
Which is
it
true.
is.
We make it difficult.
It's not difficult.
It's not difficult. It's easy because we know you can do it because you treated her obviously good enough to get her to say yes.
Yes.
So we know for a fact you can do it. We get some guys go, this is just too tough. What? It's too tough to love your wife like Christ of the church. It's too tough to treat her great. Too tough to say I love you and that you're beautiful and what can I do to help you and how can I be a blessing? That's too tough. You did that when you dated. We know it's possible.
Yes, absolutely. So, if there were no dysfunctions, if there were no things that people get so messed up in life about, marriage in itself is
Yes.
so simple. People talk about marriage is hard work. Folks, marriage is not hard work. Marriage is simple. The hard work is defeating the dysfunctions.
Yes.
Yes. So, for example, husbands initiate. So let's start at the beginning. The simple hugs, smiles, kisses, compliments. Wives respond.
Yeah.
Now, if a husband's not been treating his wife right, what should she do, Kath?
She should tell him.
Yeah.
Make sure that she tells him, she goes, hold it here. You can't treat me this way. You can't talk to me this way. You have to, I didn't appreciate what you said or what you did just now, or maybe I really appreciated if you would have done this, would really been a blessing to me, but she has to speak. But so many women don't speak. They lose their voice. For have one lady in the ministry, she's been married, what, 30 some years, and she lost her voice because every time she would talk, her husband would talk over her. She could never say anything at all because he would talk over her. He would shut her down, say, that's not true. You're being too sensitive. You just need to get over it. You just need to be quiet. I've got other things to do, more important things than you. Okay, go ahead.
Absolutely. And I do believe that if you're watching us, you can comment on Facebook or YouTube. And I believe that we'll be able to see it here on our screen.
So, what I just said, a wife needs to speak, but if her husband is saying those things to her, he needs to quit. First of all, it's not Christ like, okay? And two, he needs to sit back and go, okay, I need to hear her so she can respond to me. I can do the right thing so she can respond to me.
Absolutely. What we don't want a wife to do is say, no, don't touch me.
Yeah.
That doesn't lead to a happy marriage. What leads to a happy marriage? You respond. Your husband goes to give you a hug. If you are upset with him about something he did, as Kathy just described, and we'll just repeat ourselves a few times here because we want to get the message across, you tell your husband what you need from him in order for you to want to let him to give you a hug.
With that being said, guys, if we're going to get her to speak up, because we'll get guys that say, I wish you would have just told me. Well, the facts are she probably was telling you for a period of time and you just quit listening or you just didn't listen at all. But you have to be a safe place.
Mm-hmm.
See, it's not enough for a wife to be able to speak up. You have to be a safe place because she knows that you're going to talk over her, you're going to shut her down, tell her to be quiet. But you have to be that safe place that allows her to be able to share how she feels.
Absolutely.
Because that's so important that, we need to be able to have a wife be able to do that.
Absolutely. And you see, these are where the dysfunctions come in.
Yeah.
Let's say a wife does try to speak up to her husband. And if you're that kind of husband that's going to say, what, blah, 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 fill in the blanks.
Yeah.
guys can be, pretty jerky. Uh, then this is not going to work. You're not going to have a happy marriage.
No.
So get over yourself and stop doing it. So if you go to give your wife a hug, smile, kiss, and she like puts her hands up or pushes you away, and she hasn't watched this video, just say, "Hey, babes, can you help me understand what I've done to make you feel this way? I really, want our marriage to be happy."
What I can do to help you feel safe, to where you can always, speak up and be able to tell me how you feel about things. One thing I was just sitting there thinking about was that he has to be a safe place, because many women know that if they share how they feel, if he's done something that has hurt her, there'll be a punishment afterwards.
Right.
He'll yell at her. He'll cuss her out, or whatever the case may be. And women instinctively know that there'll be a punishment, so they don't even bother. You guys just end up living a second-rate life,
Mhm.
or a third-rate life, or you just live as roommates. God forbid that happens. But go ahead.
Absolutely. So what do you do?
That's right.
Husband comes, initiates, hug, smile, kiss. If you like him, hey, just respond. Give
That's
him a
right.
hug back. Give him a kiss back. Absolutely.
Yes.
Now, I want to repeat that. If you're liking your husband, because we've been talking about if you got a problem, you're wanting to say no to the hug, smile, kiss. If you like your husband and everything's good, he comes to give you a hug, smile, kiss. Let him give you a hug, smile, kiss. Who cares if you got some cake batter on your hands if you're making a cake? Who cares? He can still hug you around your arms. Doesn't mean you have to like totally stop what you're doing. Hey, you can keep mixing up cake batter if you want,
Oh,
and
she
he
has
can
cake
hug you
batter.
from
She gets to
behind.
go like this.
Oh, well, yes, you could. Yeah. Yeah. So, Facebook, what do they call those little 6 30-second things, on Facebook? But so you can still keep doing what you're doing. He can hug you from behind. He can
Yeah.
hug you from behind, give you a little kiss on the cheek. And guys, if you go over to your wife and she's working on some cake batter or anything else she's doing, working on a computer or something, and you go to give her a hug, she doesn't have to turn around. Just give her a hug around from behind, give her a little kiss on the cheek while she's working. That's cool. You're blessing her. You're releasing oxytocin in her when you do that.
Yeah.
You don't have to make your wife feel pressured like, oh my gosh, you were working on a computer. I came over to give you a hug and you didn't even stop what you were doing.
They feel rejected.
Feel
Don't feel
rejected,
rejected.
Yeah. So husband initiate. Wives, if you like your husband, accept this hug, smile, kiss. Now, what do you do if your husband's not initiating hug, smiles, and kisses? Ladies, don't you initiate the hug, smile, kiss. You coach your husband. So when you think to yourself, man, I really like to get a hug from my husband, or wow, my husband hasn't given me any hugs today, don't just leave it in your head. A, that's the wrong answer. B, don't get mad. That's the wrong answer. What do? You simply tell your husband, hey, honey, you haven't given me any hugs, smiles, kisses today. Now, again, if you're that husband that wants to have a happy marriage, what are you going to do? You're going to give her a hug, smile, kiss. You're going to thank her for telling you.
Yeah.
I mean, I love it when Kathy, if I've dropped the ball for a little bit and overlooked giving her a hug, smile, kiss, and she says, hey, you haven't given me a hug, smiles, and kisses for a while.
You're lacking today.
Yeah, I appreciate her saying that. Absolutely. I appreciate her reminding me.
Because he wants to keep my oxytocin up and the cortisol, the
Yeah.
stress level down.
Absolutely.
If my oxytocin is raised, I feel good about life, feel good about him. I feel good about, I'm healthier. My immune system's working. There's so much good going on. When a guy will initiate good towards his wife, it keeps us at a high level for her and keeps the cortisol low, which is bad stuff.
Yeah. Yes, indeed. So you initiate by asking your wife out for a date. Ladies, your husband asks you out for a date. You say, yeah, let's go on that date. Now, husbands, you want to be specific in a lot of times, especially if your marriage is having some troubles. Be specific. Hey, babes, how about Friday night? Uh-oh, our TV just shut off on us. What happened here? Our backdrop no, there it is. I don't know what's going on. That was our
So
backdrop.
now you know it's a TV.
Oh my goodness, the backdrop. Hey,
The backdrop is gone.
we like our 85-inch TV, man. You haven't watched a game of football, so you watched it on an 85-inch TV screen.
Yeah, and we got it that big so we could have a backdrop so it could look like we're actually in the room, So
And it's not supposed to all of a sudden go black
secret
like
is
that.
out.
It is. All right, nobody watched this recording. No, only kidding. This is live, so we don't edit. No big deal. So you initiate. You say, hey, babes, how about Friday night? How about we go out to watch so-and-so movie and go to dinner at so-and-so place? Yeah. Now, as a wife, if you like your husband, but you don't really want to go to that movie, you say, hey, honey, appreciate it. How about if we go to a different movie? How about if we go to such-and-so movie? Don't just tell him, no, I don't want to go to that movie, and that's not right, because now you're not responding. You're just telling him, no, I don't want to go to that movie. He went through the effort to think of the idea, to come up with the idea.
Yeah.
And men, you need to do that. You need to come up with an idea. And so, wives, you can then say, you know what? Instead of going to that movie and
Yeah.
instead of going to dinner at so and so place, how about if we play a game of putt putt in Connecticut in January? How about if we play a game of bowling? How about if we do something else like that? And so you can come up with a different suggestion for your wives, and that's okay, and that's great. And husbands, your wife comes up with another suggestion. You say, okay, let's do that. What you don't do is you don't say to your wife, but I really wanted to. You don't do that, guys. Again,
Yeah.
we got dysfunctions or what cause marriages to go bad. We're teaching you how to have a healthy marriage, teaching you what to do.
Caring about what she cares about, and then she'll end up caring about what you care about. But it has to go to where she feels loved, cared for, and valued, and honoring her and what she would like to do first, and then she'll end up doing that for you.
Absolutely. Hey, there's been a number of times I've said to Kathy, would you
Yeah.
like to go to this certain movie? And it's not really her cup of tea,
No.
but she doesn't have something else she'd rather do. So she says, well, I'll tell you what, I'll go to the movie. It's not really something I'm going to like that much, I don't think, but I'll be happy to go to the movie with
And
you.
I do. And
Yeah.
then if I don't want to go that way, if I don't feel like maybe going out that evening, I'll say, hey, how about if we watch maybe The Voice
Yeah.
and have a dessert while watching The Voice and just kind of just relax for the evening. So
Yeah.
I do come up with something else.
Oh, yeah.
If not, I never say no. I always come up with another idea, and then we discuss it and figure out. Sometimes we still go to the movie, and we don't end up sitting at home. Sometimes we still go,
Do it, absolutely. It's
Yeah.
just easy. It's
but
nice and easy.
it opens the door for communication,
Absolutely. Nice and easy and light. And I say,
figuring
hey,
it out.
lay in bed with my wife, next to her bod, and put my arm around her and rub her body, rub her back, rub the other side of her back. I mean, hey, that sounds like a good deal to me. Yeah, babes, let's do it. um,
Marriage, life.
yes. So, um, initiating making love, initiating being in bed. If you're laying in bed together watching a TV show, for example, hold your wife's hand. Don't just ignore her. Put your arm around her. Put your hand on her leg. Put your hand on her back. Put your hand on the other side of her back. Initiate affection while you're in bed watching a TV show.
Yeah.
And again, if you're a wife and you're thinking, well, I don't really want to be touched right now, tell your husband why. Say, honey, I appreciate you initiating. I'm going to hold my hand right now and watch the show. But hey, let's put the TV on pause so I can let you know. Hey, welcome to those that are on the call right now. And there, I think we'll see how this works. That should show. There you go. Jennifer Curry saying hello. Hello, Jennifer. So yes, it does work. We're experimenting with something on here. So don't just tell your husband, no, I don't want to hold hands right now. Tell him why. Say, honey, I'm kind of bothered at you. What happened earlier today? And the husband says, okay, you pause the show. Okay, tell me what happened. Apologize. Now you relax, hold hands, watch the show together. Same with making love. Husbands initiate making love. And wives, your husband initiates making love. Again, if you like your husband, all things being equal, you're doing well, he's treating you nice, make love. Absolutely. You say, what if I'm not really in the mood? Well, that's all right. Your husband could start doing some foreplay. You'll probably get in the mood. The gentleman with Laugh Your Way to a Happy Marriage, there's a comment he made. He says, look, if you don't have that much interest, male or female, start. You start the ball rolling, you'll probably get interested.
Yeah.
I tell guys that they'll say, well, I can't get it up. I said, well, start the ball rolling. You start the ball rolling, somebody might come to attention.
When we post this on Facebook, we're going to have to put at the top.
So they, all right,
All
let's
children
see.
removed from the room.
Oh my goodness. All right. So we're going to pop back over here. We're going to go back over here and we're going to show this again. All righty.
There you go.
And we'll keep our eye over the chat spot over here. And let's see. Going to go over here and click on that. Whoops. Okay. There we go. All right. And Nick, say there's Nick watching. Excellent. Watching and getting a chuckle out of what we're saying. So that's cool. There you go. Hey there, Nick. Welcome on. All right. So husbands initiate. And again, wives respond. Now, certainly, Kathy, obviously, if a wife is extremely tired, you're exhausted.
Oh, yeah.
Certainly, you can say, hey, honey, I appreciate you initiating. I would love to make love, but I am just exhausted. You say, okay. And you lay there and you cuddle. You watch a TV show together. You pray together. You read a Bible together. Read a book together. Just lay there and stare at the walls and veg out if you want, whatever you want to do. And it's totally okay if you're too exhausted. Guys, if you're really exhausted and you're exhausted, Tell your wife, say, look, honey, I'd love to initiate making love tonight, but I'm really exhausted.
Yeah.
How about you? And chances are she'll say, yeah, I'm really exhausted too. And so that's cool because you let her know you're interested. Don't sit there and go to bed night after night after night and not initiate making love. You need to be initiate making love on a regular basis, even guys, if you're kind of tired, because sometime your wife might say, yeah, I'm really, really like us to go ahead. All right, guys, you're called to lay your life down for your wife. Like that's really hard, right? And so get your energy up a little bit and start the process. And again, you'll probably end up getting interested even if you are exhausted. But we find nine times out of 10, which doesn't happen that often, but if one of us are totally exhausted, the other one's like, yeah, I'm totally exhausted too. So we'll skip tonight.
Yeah.
So initiate, guys, initiate. While we're on the topic of making love, don't let 4 nights go by without making love. Don't let a fourth night go by. Uh, Initiate making love. If you make love, 2 nights in a row and skip a couple nights, or one night and skip a couple nights, or whatever, or 3 nights in a row and skip a couple nights. But set a mental thing in your mind. We're not going to go more than four days without making love. Just keep your marriage active. Keep your love life active. So husbands initiate, wives respond.
Yeah, because you don't want to be like roommates,
No, we don't want to be roommates. Absolutely.
Be roommates.
You didn't have to get married to be a roommate. You had to get married to make love, be naked with each other. Hallelujah. Jesus says, Lord. All right. And let's see. Anybody else said hello over here? All right. So we're going to throw this caption back on here down at the bottom. There you go. GodSaveMyMarriage.com. All right, everybody. We trust you enjoyed this. And please like and share. And we will have 200, 300, 400 people watch this over the next couple days. Some people will be traumatized. Hallelujah. Have a great night. You can have an outrageously happy marriage. This has been Joel and Kathy with your outrageously happy marriage power moment. Remember, you can have a happy marriage. If Joel and Kathy can do it, so can you. Have an awesome day.